So in addition to composing, Ahdel was an accompanist, and she loved ensemble plays. David and I often came home from school to hear her trio practicing for performances here in the Women's Club at the Clyde Footlock Music Club. And Ahdel would always be at the piano, of course, and then she would have a flutist or a violinist or a cellist playing with her. She also loved keeping contestants at the Van Cliburn competition, and she did that 4 times. Then a very special activity for her was being on the board of the opera. She started volunteering for the opera in 1946. She was on the board by 1955, and then she was eventually named an honorary life member. So we're very privileged today to have Darren Woods, who's the general director of the Fort Worth Opera.
Susan said it's fitting that we're in the middle of the festival and having a tribute for Ahdel. She was ubiquitous at the opera, and it's an honor for Stephen and Corey and I to represent Fort Worth Opera, and I will apologize in advance because we all have rehearsal as soon as this is done. There are 4 shows rehearsing right this very second, and I'm actually in one of the shows this year. So. Ahdel was one of the first people I met when I came to Fort Worth. At the very first board meeting in August of 2001, I'll never forget, she came up to me and smiling that wonderful smile of hers with those beautiful eyes, and she said, she said, "We're so happy you've come here to help us." And it just meant so much to me, and I didn't know how much help we needed at that minute. So now I know what she was saying. She told me that she had been with the opera since its inception, and it was really important to her. But she wasn't a person who held on to the past, I soon learned. She liked innovation, and she liked being able to participate. She was thrilled and supported when the opera changed to a festival in 2007, and we surprised her that same year by making her an honorary life member of the board of directors. When we started doing contemporary more contemporary music, she told me about her interest in composition, which I had never known up to, but then it made such sense when she would go to all the previews that we had with the composers were there, and she would never ask questions in the public forum, but I would often see her with Jake Hagee over in a corner, or the composers talking to them and asking really good questions. She loved meeting the composers. She was a really active and vital volunteer. Joanne Patton told me this story, which I love. From the beginning of the Buchanan competition, our vocal competition, which happens every 2 years, until the 2010 competition, which was just a couple of years ago, she edited the resumes of the singers and wrote all the bios for the program. One time Joanne was thanking her and commenting on all the work she had to do, and Ahdel told her with that customary twinkle in her eyes that that was how she got to know the singers first, and she did. With her thoroughness and attention to detail in going over the resume and her wonderful memory, she learned about them and remembered them and kind of shocked them when she greeted them all by name when they came to see her. Her New Year's Eve parties were legendary, and she even gave one this past year at 98 years of age. She was ubiquitous at the ball, coming dressed this year as a flapper to our mobster ball. Indeed, she was ubiquitous at everything in the opera. She rarely, if ever, missed a board meeting and was on the finance committee for many years. And let me tell you, as someone who doesn't love finance committee meetings, that is the love of opera, to show up at all those. I'll miss seeing her most after the shows, when she would come up to me and say, "That was just wonderful." And you could see in her eyes that she was genuinely moved. She was 1 in a million, and we will all miss her greatly.